Hello and welcome to the big picture. With less than a week to go for the elections to the Maharashtra Assembly, the state is poised interestingly. For the first time in 15 years, there will be multi-cornered contests everywhere, with four major parties in the fray fighting each other. With the NCP Congress 15-year alliance having collapsed and the 25-year-old BJP Shiv Sena alliance in tatters, the four parties' daggers are drawn against each other. The BJP is hoping that the impressive performance in the May Lok Sabha election will carry them through. The Shiv Sena, however, has been aggressively taking on the BJP. The Congress and NCP, which suffers from the anti-incumbency, are known to be fighting a rearguard battle. How will this new development in Maharashtra of multi-cornered contests end up? What have been the factors and issues which have been in the forefront during the campaign? Are there any issues which can crop up and make a difference to the final outcome in the few days left for campaign? We will discuss all this with a very experienced panel of guests. I have with me Anant Bagaidkar, Chief of Bureau of Sakal Group of Newspapers, Venkatesh Ramakrishnan, Deputy Editor, Frontline Magazine, Nilab Mishra, Editor, Hindi Outlook, and we'll also be joined by my colleagues Amritanshu Rai and Raj Kamal, both of whom have been travelling in Maharashtra. Welcome to all of you. Amritanshu, I would like to come to you first. You have been travelling in the Konkan region. You've been travelling in the Konkan region.
Yeah.
What have been the issues which you have been hearing which has cropped up there?
See, the biggest issue is obviously the division or the parting ways between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Now, this Konkan division is a stronghold of the Shiv Sena, and Shiv Sena is expected to do well here. As far as the issues are concerned, you've got the Samudra Marg, which is a road, a very crucial road that the government has been promising for a long time now, but the expansion hasn't taken off. Besides this, the Shetkari Kamgar Paksh is very relevant in Raigad district. Last time it had it's a left-leaning party which had 3 MLAs. This time that is likely to shrink and Shiv Sena is likely to gain there. But largely the workers' issue and the farmers' issue, the fishermen issue, and the farmers who are growing Alfonso, farmers who are growing cashew, farmers who are growing coconut, those are the issues that really impact the entire Konkan division.
Okay. Amritanshu, you stay on. I'll come back to you a little later. Raj Kamal, you are in Mumbai. You've been traveling around that place. I'm told what is happening in Mumbai. You know, this whole thing which has cropped up suddenly about the Shiv Sena talking about or alleging that BJP seems to have some ulterior motives and they have some plan to divide Mumbai and things like that. Is that an issue which is caught up or is it just in the media?
Girish, it's there in political rallies. I've been attending all parties' political rallies in last 10 days. And especially Shiv Sena is targeting Modi, accusing him of trying to divide Mumbai from Maharashtra. In fact, Narendra Modi had clarified earlier. But the issue between BJP and Shiv Sena has already been who betrayed who. It's a political war of words between two political parties. Shiv Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray has been accusing BJP of betraying them at the time of when they needed BJP. His argument was when on Lok Sabha election, they all supported unanimously to Narendra Modi, but when they needed BJP, they've betrayed them. BJP plays that they are going on the impressive performance of the central government in last few days and also on the Narendra Modi wave. They want to bank on that. But the major concern for these parties is the Hindutva vote, which was earlier united in Bal Thackeray and Gopinath Munde's age. Now it is not there. So Shiv Sena is worrying on that. That is why Raj Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray's comments and they coming together after elections make significance for them. But in a 5-cornered contest where every party is trying to get their identity back, it will be very difficult, Girish.
Okay, Raj Kamal, you stay on. I'll come back to you. Anant, you know, this is interesting what Raj Kamal is saying.
No. What Raj Kamal has said is definitely very interesting. And the last point he has made, I will start from there. In fact, all these four, actually 5 parties.
5 parties.
Which they are contesting for their identity, to establish their identity in Maharashtra. And that is why you can see that Shiv Sena is aggressively propagating the cause of Marathi Manus.
Yes.
And obviously, the issues which can really, attract Marathi mind, saying that Maharashtra will be uh, divided into two, Vidarbha and
Yes.
rest of Maharashtra. Then
There are
Mumbai will be
there are two divisions they're talking about. One is Vidarbha, the other is Mumbai itself.
Mumbai. So they are talking of division of Maharashtra, which they are really banking upon. Then there are some issues like means there is an issue. Like one issue I can just offhand point out that there was a piece of land which was given to Coast Guard near Mumbai, which was taken away after Modi came to power in Delhi. It was taken to Gujarat. So these are the issues which MNS, Shiv Sena, they are definitely making in their campaign and very aggressively. And one thing you must, it's a very interesting thing in Maharashtra that almost all the parties like MNS, Shiv Sena, NCP, Congress, they are targeting BJP. In a way, BJP is fighting a lone battle.
So it is BJP versus the rest.
Rest.
You think it is like
yeah.
It has assumed such dimensions.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are joined in now on Kumar Ketkar, a senior journalist from Mumbai. Ketkar, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Ketkar, it's very interesting. For the first time, we are seeing this kind of multi-cornered contest in the last 25 years. My question to you is, are the people confused with this because they've been so used to having these two alliances fighting each other, and it was less difficult for the people to make up their minds where to go? You think that in these multi-cornered contests there is some kind of a confusion in the minds of the people?
Yes, sometimes and in some places, but not altogether so much confusion, because the alliance was in place only for last 25 years. But BJP was there from 1980. So between 1980 and 1990, whatever elections were held for corporation, assembly or Lok Sabha, they were held as Shiv Sena versus BJP versus Congress. At that time, NCP didn't exist. NCP came into being only in 1999. But there was a strong, solid left front, which was led by Peasants and Workers' Party and Communist Party. Communists were not as weak as they are now. So multi-cornered contest is not something new. What is new now is that those who professed the ideological alliance of Hindutva on one hand and secularism on the other, they have split. That is a new phenomenon, and therefore people definitely, some voters will definitely be confused, since Shiv Sena and BJP were on the same page, apparently on the same page, and Congress and NCP were on the same page. How come they have split and how to vote? So that confusion prevails. But let me clarify one point, that it is not 25 years, but actually in last 54 years, Maharashtra has seen many multi-cornered contests, but this time the difference is I explained just now.
Yeah, absolutely. But what about this factor? My reporter on the ground from Mumbai was saying just now that all four parties are trying to re-establish, if we may, their identities. How is it? And what is the difference in their identities? Because these two alliances, they were talking the same language. Now each one of them trying to establish their different identities. How easy or difficult it is?
You are absolutely right. It is extremely difficult because Congress claimed it had only national identity. National, secular, liberal, democratic identity was the identity of the Congress. Congress never campaigned as Maharashtra party, though it campaigned in Maharashtra. Whereas NCP, which called itself Nationalist Congress Party, but its actual base was only in Maharashtra, so it was a regional party. Shiv Sena always campaigned on Marathi identity, Marathi pride and Marathi Asmita, but after 1990 they joined the Hindutva ideology, and then they became Marathi and Hindu or Hindu and Marathi. Now suddenly what has happened is, it is not anti-BJP alliance that other parties have got. It is anti-Modi alliance. It is not anti-BJP alliance, because BJP has fought in the past. They have won in 1995, BJP Sena won, and at that time they defeated Congress led by Sharad Pawar. At that point of time, Sonia Gandhi was not even in politics. So even the factor of Sonia Gandhi's foreign origin or Indian origin did not arise, and yet Congress was defeated by BJP and Sena. So the issues become complicated this time because it is not anti-BJP front or anti-Hindutva front or anti-communal front, but anti-Modi front. And that is a very significant dimension to this election.
That's very interesting what you said, anti-Modi front. Before I come back to my guest in the studio, let me get Amritanshu in on this. Amritanshu, did you notice any of these issues cropping up or in the minds of the people when you are talking to them, when you are traveling the Konkan region? Is it some kind of an anti-Modi, Modi versus anti-Modi thing going on there?
There were only two areas, Thane and Sindhudurg, where Modi is a factor. They still consider Modi to be a factor in Thane and Sindhudurg. Whereas Raigad and Ratnagiri are concerned, they are absolutely clear which side they are on. And that is the Shiv Sena and the NCP. So that's good. That's the contest that we see in Raigad and Ratnagiri. But Thane and Sindhudurg, BJP is going to register gains this time.
Okay, Amritanshu, thanks for joining us. Venkatesh, you also traveled a bit in Maharashtra recently. Would you agree with all these formulations which have been made by Kumar, Ketkar and Anand?
No, this is a path-breaking election. There is no doubt about it. I mean, because of the very fact these alliances are, broken down. I see it slightly differently. Of course, I think Kumar has got, his finger on the ball when he says, that of the various factors. But then, more than the anti-Modi thing, I think the nuance that I would like, that I perceive in this election, is the assertion of the BJP to kind of take Maharashtra away from regional-based politics. I mean, the politics, they want to push Maharashtra into a national identity-based politics, which is what they're trying in various other places also. They've been trying to do it in Tamil Nadu. They've been trying to do it in other parts of the country.
Bihar also.
Yeah. So I see it as a very deliberate attempt to kind of, a very calculated attempt to, influence politics in that manner. And because of that effort, NCP, there's been also an assertion of the regional identity by the Shiv Sena and the NCP. And NCP and Shiv Sena are also asserting their regional identity. I think essentially this is the
Maharashtra Now Nirman Sena is there also.
Yeah, it's also there. But then basically I think, the assertion of regional identity is essentially from Shiv Sena and NCP at this point of time because of the new political posture that they've taken. I see it as a very important election where this question will be decided, whether the BJP's efforts to kind of create a pan-national identity.
Pan-national identity and marginalize the regional parties.
Yeah. This is how I look at Maharashtra elections.
Nilab, would you look at it that way? Marginalizing the regional parties, is that the agenda of the BJP, of Modi, in fact, of Modi and Amit Shah? Because as Kumar Ketkar says, and others also agree that, it's Modi versus anti-Modi there.
Well, it's not only with respect to Maharashtra. There is a pattern with BJP. It's an all-India pattern. What you see here is that it wants to become the default national party as Congress was.
As Congress used to
in its days of preeminence. This is what the BJP wants, and it has been working towards that. You see, with respect to Mamata Banerjee, now even with respect to Orissa, Biju Janata Dal, probably it will make a pitch in Tamil Nadu too.
And Bihar, it's already made a pitch.
Maharashtra, of course, it is obvious.
Bihar, it's already made a pitch.
Bihar, it already made a pitch. Even Haryana,
yes,
which was outside its ambit. So there, where the Congress is the main opposition, of course, the battle is with the Congress. But then it now doesn't want the regional players to come between itself and the Congress, and it sees Congress weakening in the medium term. So it would like to have that kind of preeminence. Once the goal of majority on its own has been achieved, it would go around now with controlling most of the state government, wanting to control most of the state governments, and also representing Indian nationhood. Congress was an idea of nationalism. It was Indian National Congress when it was established. Now BJP wants to depose Congress from that nationalist high seat. So it's a high seat which it is aiming at, and it is working towards that.
Okay. Yes, Anant.
No, just to take his point further, Modi's entire strategy seems to be to make Indian polity unipolar. The BJP will be the only pole and the other parties around it. And Kumar said that it is Modi, but Modi personifies both BJP Sangha Parivar because Amit Shah is the president and Modi is the prime minister. Who else is there to challenge them and question them? So,
Kumar, coming back to you, Kumar, my question is this: that all this is fine. This is the strategy and the plan of the BJP. As far as Modi and Amit Shah and Modi combined together. This is their plan. I don't think anybody can doubt it or anybody can challenge that. My question is you think that this strategy is justified by what you see on the ground? You think that let us say in case this strategy doesn't work, what happens?
No, actually speaking, the other panelists have made absolutely correct points, and there is only a thin red line difference in perception. See, poor Ram Manohar Lohia must be crying in heaven that whatever he devised as anti-Congressism is now becoming anti-BJPism.
Right.
But point is right that BJP is going to make, there are three things absolutely clear in this election, despite the so-called confusion. One thing is Congress is not going to be in power with any alliance or on their own. So Congress is out. NCP can form alliance with Shiv Sena if BJP and Shiv Sena do not come together after the elections. And that possibility cannot be ruled out because earlier I would have argued that BJP Sena finally will come together on the bond of Hindutva. But currently, the very passionate and intense hatred towards each other is in the campaign. It would be very difficult for them to bridge the gap again. So, okay, granting possibility number one that BJP Shiv Sena will bury the differences and come back. If that doesn't happen, then it is possible that NCP will support Shiv Sena either from outside or inside or whatever. But Congress is out is absolutely clear. Point number one. BJP is going to make gains is also absolutely clear. I agree with the panelists earlier that BJP will make gains. But why is BJP making gains? Suppose there is no Modi, then BJP's highest score was 65 in 1995 and then it has been continuously declining 65, 56, 54, 45. So without Modi, they would not have arrived. And final point, the reservations about Narendra Modi are not only in opposition, in the opposition parties, but within the BJP. And that is why it makes Modi and anti-Modi.
That is exactly the point which I was trying to. I'll come back to you on this. Let me take the views of my panelists here in the studio before I come back on this issue which you raised. Anant, that is now, for instance, on the issue of Vidarbha, Modi has made it apparently clear that there will be no division of Maharashtra. But here is the state president of the BJP, Fadnavis,
who is minister. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, Devendra Fadnavis.
They are talking of smaller states, Vidarbha.
Their commitment to the smaller states and separate Vidarbha.
Yeah, exactly. So how is this going to work out? Is this difference of opinion within the party going to create any problem at the electoral level?
You will find such different voices in BJP many times. RSS speaks one language, BJP speaks one language, VHP speaks another language. So they speak with different mouths and voices.
Different voices.
So obviously Devendra Fadnavis, who is contesting from Vidarbha, he will have to say that yes, we are committed to separate Vidarbha because it is there in the BJP manifesto.
So you don't think it's going to...
And Modi, obviously, he is campaigning for Maharashtra and he wants to marginalize Shiv Sena. That is why he has to say that yes, there will be united Maharashtra, we will not break Maharashtra and all that.
Kumar, how do you look at it?
No, that point which is being made is correct, that perhaps it is also a deliberate strategy to retain Vidarbha vote by the local party saying that we want Vidarbha. So they are not ditching the Vidarbhites. And for a national leader like Prime Minister Narendra Modi saying that I will not break Maharashtra to woo and persuade the Shiv Sena voters to come to him. So Shiv Sena has parted ways. So to get Shiv Sena vote back, Shiv Sena has to be promised that I am not breaking Maharashtra. And to get Vidarbha votes for great Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Gadkari, it is necessary for them to say that we will fight for Vidarbha. So either it is a two-pronged strategy or a contradiction or a dialectical opposition within. Whichever way you look at it, people get an impression that this party is not completely united on its policies. And that difference is definitely going to affect.
You think so, Venkatesh? You think this kind of differences or apparent differences is going to affect anything on the ground?
Well, it's too early to kind of make a prediction in terms of the electoral impact. But multi-speak is something which the BJP and the Sangh Parivar have perfected. I mean,
the art, they have perfected that.
Yeah. I mean,
and it doesn't affect them in many cases also.
No, it ultimately helps them attain their goal. Like, for example, if you look at the Babri Masjid campaign, Ayodhya Babri Masjid campaign, 1 month before the demolition of Babri Masjid, Vishwa Hindu Parishad gave an undertaking to the Supreme Court saying that Karseva will be confined to bhajans and kirtans. But at the same time, they were planning for demolition. Kalyan Singh was working towards it. Even in the Lok Sabha campaign, on the one side you had this whole development agenda that was being advanced, and at the same time, parallelly you had this smaller intensity communal polarization, and one big communal incident in Muzaffarnagar. So this multi-speak is a perfect thing. But then increasingly, what I am seeing within the Sangh Parivar, I mean, this is not only on the issue of Maharashtra elections, but on very many issues. Like, for example, on the issue of this privatization of this disinvestment of public sector enterprises. On this, the Sangh Parivar had a tradition of speaking in many voices, but then the multiple voices are getting increasingly submerged, and you are seeing only one predominant voice.
One or two voices.
Yeah. So I think that is also a new change in this whole scheme of things.
Okay, Rajkamal, very quickly before I let you go, Rajkamal, do you see any of these issues which we have been discussing just now coming up during your conversations with ordinary people? How do they see these differences within the BJP, or do they see it at all?
Girish, what they are seeing is they are seeing on television, because the campaign, when these politicians interact with people, they don't discuss these issues, first of all. And second, the BJP is solely and lonely projecting Narendra Modi. Shiv Sena has no other option but to criticize Narendra Modi. NCP and Congress, they have given manifestos, and people are waiting for BJP and Shiv Sena's manifesto. They don't know what these parties think about issues like farmer suicide, Vidarbha separate statehood issue, traffic jams in Mumbai. All these local common man issues, they do not figure out in any of these rallies. Modi talks about Mumbai as India, Maharashtra as India, though he doesn't want to divide it, but their regular problems, day-to-day issue doesn't occur in any political rallies, Girish.
Okay, thanks Rajkamal for joining us. Nilab, so whatever may be these internal dynamics within the party and things like that, you think Modi as a vote catcher for the BJP will be able to do much more than what people are expecting?
Look, Modi has two personalities. One is a vote catcher. He talks directly to the people. And the other is what in Hindi we call Jod Tod. Which he has also been doing there in Maharashtra. And as you see, in Maharashtra there is a lot of sympathy for Munde. There has been a lot of sympathy for Munde. And as you have noticed, Amit Shah there has now reached out to Pankaja Munde.
Right.
Who's so young. It is not in Modi's character. But he is still doing so because it is in line with his other Jod Tod character. Just as they reached out to very small regional caste leaders in UP. That is what they are also doing in. So they, with the national picture in mind, they also have these grassroots machinations working there in Maharashtra as in Haryana.
Kumar, very quickly, last words to you.
Yeah.
Do you think, in the overall thing, we have been discussing a whole lot of things about everything, but do you think that, in the way the NCP and Congress alliance collapsed, you think Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi are no more in control of things?
They are not in control of things, obviously. And as I said, to conclude my remarks, three things are absolutely clear, and I'll reiterate them. First is, Modi is a vote catcher, and therefore BJP will increase its tally. Number two, whatever Congress does, Congress is not going to be in power either in alliance or directly. And number three, the entire campaign is anti-Modi or pro-Modi because all the issues from Vidarbha to rains to transport to drought to farmer suicide do not really go to every single constituency because in every region the problems are different. The problems of Vidarbha are not in Marathwada. The problems of drought in Marathwada are not in Mumbai. Problems of traffic jams of Mumbai are not in Vidarbha. So each region is going to have different issues, and unfortunately for the people, these parties do not have a regional agenda because every region has some exclusive, mutually exclusive issues to be dealt with. And that is the unfortunate aspect for the electorate.
But one common factor across Maharashtra is Modi. Would you agree with that?
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
Modi is a vote catcher and Modi is a factor.
Okay. I think on that note, we have to end. We completely run out of time. We just got 4 or 5 days to go for the campaign to end, another week for the elections to be held. We'll wait and watch. Very fascinating what's happening in Maharashtra. And it will be, as Venkatesh initially said, it will be a path-breaking election because we'll have to see how the whole thing will emerge in the finally. Thanks to all my guests, Kumar Ketkar from Mumbai, Anand Bagaidkar, Venkatesh Ramakrishnan, Nilab Mishra, and my colleagues Amritanshu Rai and Rajkamal who had joined us. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture same time tomorrow.